Are you sure you're living in the real world? Or maybe it's all just a very realistic game. A review of the film, The Main Character, will help you figure out what's real and what's not. Free City is a super popular online game with a fantasy world and tons of possibilities. Here, players wearing special glasses can have fun, forgetting about reality, seducing women, stealing cars, and even saving the world, or, conversely, destroying it. We've met with a guy, yes, that's his name. He lives in Free City, looks absolutely happy. Wakes up, stretches sweetly, says hello to his fish. Has breakfast and gets ready for work at the bank. He drinks the most delicious coffee, saves money for new sneakers. Nothing bothers him, not helicopters flying overhead. Not robots in the city center, not constant fights. The guy has only one problem, he dreams of his love. Suddenly robbers burst into the bank, shots ring out, everyone falls to the floor. But even this doesn't upset the guy at all. He continues to tell his friend about the girl of his dreams. At the same time, a new heroine appears in the game. She takes a file from a mysterious man with a covered face, walks away, and then gets rid of her informant. This girl's name is Millie, she is one of the creators. Free City source code. A guy and Millie meet by chance on a city street. Our hero says she's humming his favorite song and looking at her with loving eyes. Millie is surprised, she didn't write those lines for this character. The guy runs after her and gets hit by a train. Oops. At that very moment, the girl exits the game. We see what she looks like in real life. Not as vibrant as her character, but still quite attractive. Millie isn't playing Free City for fun, she needs to find proof that the video game's cat was stolen from her and her friend by a cunning and deceitful developer named Antoine. The alarm rings, and our guy wakes up. At first, he follows the usual scenario, but at some point, something goes wrong. At the coffee shop, he wants to try a new drink, cappuccino. And this shocks Barista, and not only her. All the characters in the room look at the guy with bewilderment. They always drink the same thing, coffee, cream, and 2 sugars. A tank pulls up to the coffee shop and points its barrel at our guy, who immediately says he was joking and, of course, will drink the same thing he always does. He nervously drinks his standard coffee and goes to work. Robbers break into the bank again, and everyone falls face first into the floor again, but this time the guy isn't amused at all. He sees the girl of his dreams walking down the street again, and he decides to take action. He asks the robber for his gaming glasses. A fight ensues. Our hero rips the robber's glasses off and accidentally pulls the trigger on his gun. The villain, with a huge hole in his stomach, flies into the wall. The guy drops his weapon, runs outside, and puts on the criminal's gaming glasses. The world he knows completely changes. He sees things that other people don't notice, like a first aid kit lying right there on the street. It turns out this first aid kit can be downloaded into oneself. Now the guy sees the world of Free City not as a regular non-player character, but through the eyes of a real player. He manages to get a ton of money and finally buy himself the new sneakers he's been dreaming of for so long. However, he's so lost in his dreams that he is almost hit by a train again, but our hero slows down just in time. Meanwhile, we're introduced to Free City's second developer, a programmer named Keys. He's working on analyzing the guy's behavior in the game, trying to figure out how an NPC attacked a real player if it wasn't programmed into his code. Keys also joins the game, choosing the police skin, while his colleague, Mouser, transforms into a pink bunny. They find the guy and interrogate him, suspecting that one of the players is brazenly using an NPC's skin. The guy doesn't understand, so the cop and bunny start a shootout. Our hero tries to escape. The guy realizes he can perform super jumps with his new sneakers, but he lacks agility and crashes into a metal support, then the ceiling. His third jump is successful, and he reaches the roof, but the cops, the rabbit, and The latter run after him. Our hero tries to reach the crane cable, but overshoots. He plummets from the enormous skyscraper, but is saved by a cushion. He climbs out of it. When a police car hits him, oops, Keys and Mouser exit the game. They've completed their task, but they still can't figure it out. The guy's gone, and the player count hasn't changed. So he's not a player. But who is he then? Keys returns home, watches an interview with Millie, talking about his unique indie game with a unique code. The guys hope to release it soon, but as you can imagine, that never happened. Millie comes to Izu, they start arguing. And we learn that a developer named Antoine stole their unique game code for his game, Free City. And now Millie is doing everything she can to sue Antoine. To do this, she created her own game character, Molotov Girl, in Free City, hoping to do it in the game itself. Find evidence against Antoine. But Keys has accepted the injustice and taken a job at his company. Meanwhile, our guy wakes up, promising himself that today will be different. Millie also joins the game. She needs to get into the cache where the proof of her source code is stored. At that moment, our guy approaches her. The girl thinks he's some player who chose a strange skin of a guy in a blue shirt. The guy himself doesn't even suspect that he's not real and doesn't understand most of the gamer-like statements of the girl of his dreams. They start shooting from the cache, and Millie also pulls out a weapon. Realizing that the forces are not equal, the girl decides to teleport, and the guy jumps through the portal after her. Millie opens the weapons cache and advises the guy to level up, as he's only level 1, meaning he's not capable of anything at all. Only when he reaches level 100 will she agree with him. To make friends, the guy decides to be a hero and do good deeds, to level up and meet the girl of his dreams again. He fights criminals and protects the innocent. At first, our hero often loses, but it's no big deal, because he can wake up in his own bed and start over. With each passing day, the guy in the blue shirt becomes more and more badass. They even make news stories about him in real life. Meanwhile, Millie tries again to get into the hiding place. Keys helps her open the door, and she finds her source code. But the alarm goes off, and she's immediately attacked by a crowd of armed men. Millie fires back, but the forces are unequal. Moreover, all the exits are mined. At that moment, our guy bursts into the building on a fancy motorcycle and scatters the villains in all directions. Now they fight together, helping each other survive. The guy looks at Millie with admiration. She, a true martial arts master, but there are too many villains. So the couple jumps on a motorcycle and flies out of the building at full speed. But motorcycles can't fly. Luckily, our couple has a jet parachute. And they are saved, but they still can't get the cat they need. At this time, Antoine himself arrives at the corporation's office. He's an extremely unpleasant guy who is only interested in fame and money. He's rude to his subordinates, and he plans the launch of Free City 2. We return to the game. The guy shows Mila his fleet of cars and boasts about his high level. She decides that she's a cool hacker who will help her get the cat she needs. The guy and Millie are strolling through the evening city. They realize they have a lot in common. For example, they both like bubblegum flavored ice cream. And they both love riding on swings. Millie tells the guy about her life, and they share their first kiss. Delia is interrupted by a knock at the door. Keys has come to Millie. He's been trying to figure out who the mysterious guy in the blue shirt is and found him in the database. Keys tells Millie that Antoine definitely stole their code, because he was the one who created non-player characters that would feel alive. For example, the guy in the blue shirt isn't a player, but a real artificial intelligence that believes in its own reality. And he's not alone. All NPCs level up and develop, learn new things, and evolve. Millie is shocked, but also very upset. It turns out she was kissed by a fake guy. Millie dives back into the game, finds the guy, and takes him to the hero's tavern. There, the girl tells him that the entire city is a game, and he's an ordinary NPC, and he's not really. But that's not the worst thing. In 2 days, when I launch Free City 2, all the old data will be erased, including the guy himself. Millie cries and begs our hero to help her save this game world, but the guy is very upset. Takes off his glasses and hurries to the ocean shore. His whole world turned out to be a lie. The guy goes to his former colleague and tries to tell him everything. His friend reacts calmly, believing that it's not whether you exist or not, but whether you have real feelings. The guy realizes that he must save his world at any cost, and he and his friend set off to get the source code for Millie. The owner of this place turns out to be another player who adores the guy. He easily gives our hero the necessary code, who brings it to Millie. There, they find proof that Antoine stole their source code. The growing popularity of the guy in the blue shirt threatens the successful launch of Free City 2. Antoine orders Keys to reboot the current game world and erase the guy's parameters. Kiza refuses to do this and quits, so Antoine decides to do it himself. He reboots the server, causing players to temporarily drop out of the game. Everything in this world begins to disappear. The game restarts, and our guy is back to the default settings and wakes up in his apartment. He lives according to the old routine: fish, suit, breakfast, coffee with a friend. Millie finds him and wants to talk, but he remembers nothing of his previous life. In despair, the girl quits the game, and Keys calls her, assuring her that his memory can be restored. The main thing is to figure out how. Keys admits that he coded this character with his personal tastes and image of the ideal girl, which is why the guy fell in love with Millie at first sight. The girl returns to the game, breaks into the bank, where the guy works, and takes him hostage. Millie forces him to put on gaming glasses and the guy recalls all the past events and details, including the location of the hidden island where the game's source code is stored. The guy and Millie gather all the NPCs, convince them they are more than just a bunch of numbers. A real machine uprising begins. Players come to rob the bank, but there's no one there, and they wander the streets joylessly, not finding a single NPC. The thing is, they're all in a coffee shop trying new drinks from the barista. Meanwhile, Antoine is planning to destroy the world of Free City, erase all the evidence. And he also wants to destroy Molotov Girl, Millie's character. With the help of the guy and Keys, the girl manages to escape from a dozen out-of-control machines. Moreover, Keys creates a bridge to the island and hacks the security system so that the whole world can see what's happening in Free City. Antoine is hysterical, demanding that all players be removed from Free City and that the dude be brought into the game. Millie's character disappears, saying that the fate of the world now rests solely in the guy's hands. At that moment, the guy attacks him. He's a huge muscle man, an incomplete and mindless copy of the guy, developed for Free City 2. The guy is much stronger than the guy. Someone from the bank comes to his aid, but he too is knocked out. It looks like our hero doesn't stand a chance. But wait. He finds gaming glasses and uses Captain America's shield, the Hulk's arm, and then even a Jedi lightsaber and a laser cannon. The guy finally manages to knock him down. Then the guy puts his gaming glasses on him, and the guy is distracted by various shiny things. In a rage, Antoine grabs an axe and begins manually destroying the game servers. The Free City universe collapses right before the eyes of gamers from all corners of the planet. But our guy, against all odds, manages to reach the island and show the whole world the source code, created by Millie and Keys. Meanwhile, in the real world, Millie catches up with an enraged Antoine, asking him to return her Free City code. In exchange, she won't sue him, and all profits from Free City 2 and the next version will belong solely to him. The greedy Antoine happily agrees. But Free City 2 turns out to be a complete failure. Millie and Keys release their own game, Freely Play, importing all the residents of Free City and their boyfriend into the new world. It's a real hit. Millie, dressed as Molotov Girl, joins the game and goes on a date with the guy. He realizes that the girl of his dreams can't live in the virtual world forever and lets her go. As they say goodbye, the guy confesses his love to her and says he's just a message from his creator. Millie realizes that Keys, who created the guy, is actually madly in love with her. She rips off her headphones and runs after Keys. Now they're not just friends, but a loving couple. Well, our guy isn't bored in the virtual world either. He befriended a guy and reunited with his former banker friend in Free Life. Together, they set off on new adventures. If you enjoyed our review, give it a like and be sure to share the video with your friends. Movie Cat and I were with you.